haven't had my mushy coffee yet. But I got the Edgar Allan Poe. The Poetical Works of Edgar Allan Poe, with illustrations by Edmund Dulac. He does some nice pictures in this book. It's quite nice. So, the librarian, I asked her, I found a Edgar Allan Poe book. And then I was asking her if The Raven was in it, was right? And she's like, oh, no, I don't think so, because it's a poem. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, hang on, we've got a book of his poetry out the back somewhere. So she goes out to find it, brings me this. I'm like, what? It's got pictures. I'm like, what? Like, beautiful pictures. Really nice, the artwork. Anyway, I've been flicking through because I got it because I wanted to read The Raven, right? It's a good poem. And I read these things in high school, year 7, when I was getting bullied. And I withdrew to the library and started reading horror stories instead. Stephen King, stuff like that. Anyway, I was looking for some H.P. Lovecraft as well. Haven't found any yet. Get this, my nan's a librarian and she'd never heard of Lovecraft. I'm like, is it just me? The lady at the library knew. When I said, do you have any Lovecraft? She went, no. And I went, okay. Then the ladies at the op shop. I mean, the first one, she was foreign and young, and the guys, I don't know. They're like, no. So I went into Vinnie's, because I'm thinking, ladies in Vinnie's. 3 ladies. Didn't know what I was talking about. One lady's like, is he a singer? I'm like, no. I'm like, he's like an old school writer. I said he used to write horror stories, but they weren't like horror, you know, but they were creepy. I want to read them again. Anyway, I found the poem about Lenore, which is in The Raven, right? The lost Lenore. And The Raven says nevermore. And then there's a poem about Lenore, the chick that died, that he's singing about. I mean, you know, writing about, whatever, in The Raven. So I'm going to read it to you, because I only just found it this morning. It's really good. Okay, Lenore. Just so you know, there's a picture of Lenore dead. And there's another one at the end of the poem. Lenore dead and being mourned by some dark figures. Dark robed figures. Okay, let's go. Lenore by Edgar Allan Poe. Ah, broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll, a saintly soul floats on the Stygian river. And Guy de Vere, hast thou no tear? Weep now or nevermore. See, on yon drear and rigid bier, low lies thy love, Lenore. Come, let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, an anthem for the queenliest dead, and ever died so young. A dirge for her, the doubly dead, in that she died so young. Wretches, ye loved her for her wealth, and hated her for her pride, and when she fell in feeble health, ye blessed her that she died. How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem how be sung? By you, by yours, the evil eye, by yours, the slanderous tongue, that did to death the innocence that died, and died so young? Peccavimus, but rave not this, and let a Sabbath song go up to God so solemnly, the dead may feel no wrong. The sweet Lenore hath gone before, with hope that flew beside, leaving thee wild for the dear child that should have been thy bride. For her, the fair and debonair, that now so lowly lies, the life upon her yellow hair, but not within her eyes. The life still there upon her hair, the death upon her eyes. Avaunt, avaunt, from friends below, fiends below, the indignant ghost is riven from hell unto a high estate, far up within the heaven, from grief and groan to a golden throne beside the King of heaven. Let no bell toll then, lest her soul, amid its hallowed mirth, should catch the note as it doth float up from the damned earth. And I, tonight, my heart is light, no dirge will I upraise, but waft the angel on her flight with the paean of old days. That's Lenore. Oh, I like it. Edgar Allan Poe. That's the poem, Lenore. And he talks about Lenore in the poem, The Raven. So, The Raven's really long. I might read it to you. I got to read it a couple of times and get it right, because they're hard to read, the language and stuff. And they're written, yeah. Anyway, hope you like it. Lenore, think about that golden-haired woman and the slanderous tongues. I find it fitting. I wonder if I did read that poem when I was young, and if I read The Raven, I'm sure I read Lenore. So, they all tie together. Look up some Edgar Allan Poe, people. Read some old poetry. I don't know. Get some old language in. It's nice. It's kind of, it's nice trying to read something that you don't really understand, as in when it's written in a very old way with words that you don't know, trained together in ways that you just don't know. And it challenges your brain when you read something old, right? Because you got to really, like, decipher it. But if you start, I really like the book, my favourite book really is Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's written in third person, funnily enough, through diaries and everything, right? So it's kind of got this sort of mystery within itself, because what you're reading is what people have written, so it gives it this, it kind of gives it this dark feeling the whole way through, because you know while you're reading it that you're actually reading something that's supposed to have been written in the past, right? So the whole way you're reading it, you kind of know that it's already transpired. It makes it feel real. It's all written in diaries and letters and things, people's perspective of what's happening. So it doesn't actually tell the story. So the story's like a little bit of a mystery that's floating on the outside, and you're reading people's diary entries and letters, and they've got, you know, newspaper articles, whatever, but you have to put it together yourself. And the language is very, very old, but, and I mean, it's very sexist. Let's face it. But it's a really good book. It's a really, really good book. It's, I equate it to, like, you know, when the Blair Witch Hunt came out, and it was that first person home video movie camera, the first movie that they kind of made from that perspective, like the third person. And it was really big, you know. Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book, is like reading a, like that, you know, third person sort of movie, but it's a book. It's really good. So, anyway, everyone loves their horror. If you like vampires at all, you have to read Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's the classic that kind of started this whole... yeah. Read it. It's really, really good book, and it's not that long, but I swear to God, once you start and once you get your head wrapped around... You know, it might take you 10 or 20 pages to sort of go, oh my God, what the fuck are they saying? But once you get into it and you get used to the language, you'll probably really enjoy it. It's a really good book. It's written really well. very dark. It's very sinister. It's heaps better than that rip-off they made with bloody... Oh, seriously. I can't even believe Anthony Hopkins was in that movie as... They did do one, I think, called Van Helsing, maybe, but it was bad. It was very disappointing. It's very disappointing when you do love a piece of literature that's quite old and then they make a movie out of it and they turn it into just something. It was like a parody. It was like making fun of it. It was actually very disrespectful, I thought. Very disrespectful to the author and to the literature itself, right? Anyway, if you like vampires, please go and get yourself a copy or, I don't know, fucking audio book. Find it on the internet. It's not a really long book. Read it. And get yourself some Edgar Allan Poe. And if you can find some H.P. Lovecraft, give him a go too. I got to find some yet. I can get a cheap copy on eBay. But yeah. I hope you liked Lenore. I know I must have read that poem when I was in year 7. When I read The Raven, obviously. So, yeah. These things all connect, that's all. With memories and stuff. Music especially. Takes me back, triggers me, whatever. So yeah. I hope you liked the morning poetry. I'll practice The Raven and then I'll read you The Raven now that I've done Lenore.